Ladies and gentlemen, in our modern world, we're often driven by the pursuit of large, monumental achievements. We set lofty goals, wait for the grand victories, and believe that only these will grant us happiness and fulfillment. But as we race toward distant futures, we often miss the small, quiet victories that reside in the present moment. The very victories that, if recognized and appreciated, can cultivate a lasting sense of joy. Small wins are the often overlooked moments that make up the fabric of our days. They come in many forms: the completion of a task, the triumph over a small challenge, or even the simple act of showing up when you didn't feel like it. These moments, when gathered and appreciated, add up to something far more powerful than the grand accomplishments we may spend so much of our time chasing. It is essential to understand that these small victories are not trivial. They are not to be diminished by the grandeur of our dreams. Instead, they are to be embraced with gratitude. When we allow ourselves to celebrate these moments, we are shifting our focus from what we have yet to achieve to what we have already accomplished. This shift in perspective is more than just an attitude. It is a practice that redefines our experience of life. It seems to us like progress that redefines our experience of life, and every small win is a building block of greater things. When we celebrate a minor success, we not only enjoy the present, but also begin to build momentum for future successes. The satisfaction we find in completing one task gives us the energy to face the next. It is not that large victories do not matter. Rather, it is that the pursuit of these victories is made far more enjoyable when we learn to find joy in the small wins along the way. If we are to experience true joy in our lives, we must stop waiting for the next big thing. The secret to everyday joy lies in recognizing and celebrating those moments that seem insignificant, but are, in truth, the stepping stones of a meaningful existence. As we build our lives, let us not wait for the grand moments to make us happy. Let us learn to find joy in the small, fleeting successes that color our days. In doing so, we will discover that joy is not a distant goal to be achieved, but a way of life to be lived. The importance of small achievements. In the hustle of modern life, we often place our hopes and expectations on grand, life-changing achievements. We set our sights on monumental goals like career success, financial independence, or personal milestones such as marriage, parenthood, or buying a house. These large accomplishments are often regarded as the ultimate markers of success, and we direct much of our energy and attention toward reaching them. While these goals certainly have their importance, it is easy to forget that they are not the only source of fulfillment. In fact, it is the small wins we experience daily that hold the true key to lasting joy and personal satisfaction. Small achievements are often unnoticed or deemed insignificant in the grand scheme of things. We overlook them because we are conditioned to focus on big milestones, thinking they are the only real measures of success. However, it is essential to understand that these small victories, whether completing a minor task, having a productive day, or even managing a difficult conversation, form the building blocks of our larger successes. Without them, our grand aspirations would remain distant dreams, far removed from our daily realities. One reason small achievements are so valuable is that they offer immediate feedback. When we complete a small task, we are rewarded instantly with a sense of accomplishment, a momentary feeling of satisfaction that can inspire us to take on the next challenge. Unlike larger, more complex goals that may take months or years to achieve, small wins provide us with the opportunity for consistent, regular affirmation. This continuous, positive reinforcement can help us stay motivated, focused, and more resilient when we encounter obstacles along the way. The accumulation of small wins also plays a critical role in shaping our habits and mindset. When we celebrate these victories, we are engaging in a process of reinforcing positive behaviors. For example, when you finish a project ahead of schedule or remember to exercise after a long day, you are not only accomplishing tasks, but also strengthening your ability to perform similar actions in the future. This repetition of positive behaviors, stemming from a series of small wins, leads to the development of habits that ultimately define who we are. Over time, these habits compound, and what once seemed like isolated accomplishments becomes a pattern of success in multiple areas of life. Small wins offer a powerful antidote to the feelings of frustration or discouragement that often arise when our grand goals seem too far out of reach. It is not uncommon to feel disheartened when the larger goals we set for ourselves take longer than expected or are not progressing as rapidly as we hoped. In these moments, it is easy to fall into a cycle of self-doubt and impatience. But by focusing on the small wins that occur daily, we can shift our focus from what is lacking to what has already been achieved. These little successes serve as reminders that progress is being made, even if it is not immediately visible on the grand scale. Small achievements also teach us the value of persistence. Progress in life is rarely linear, and setbacks are an inevitable part of the journey. However, small wins remind us that every effort counts. Each time we push through a challenge, no matter how small, we are demonstrating resilience and the capacity to move forward. This persistence, accumulated through a series of small victories, strengthens our ability to tackle larger obstacles when they arise. It builds our confidence in our ability to succeed and reaffirms our commitment to our long-term goals. Small wins foster a sense of balance and contentment. While the pursuit of grand goals can sometimes feel like an unending race, constantly striving for something that feels just out of reach, small wins encourage us to appreciate the present moment. They help us recognize that joy does not always lie in a distant future, but can be found in the simple act of achieving something, no matter how modest it may seem. The celebration of these small wins allows us to pause and savor the moments of success in our daily lives, creating a sense of fulfillment and happiness that sustains us on our journey. The beauty of small wins lies not only in their immediate impact, but in their cumulative effect over time. A single small victory may feel fleeting, but when these moments are consistently recognized and celebrated, they create a powerful sense of accomplishment that shapes our lives. As we continue to experience and acknowledge these small wins, they build a foundation of self-assurance, motivation, and resilience that propels us toward larger achievements. Gratitude and perspective. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices we can cultivate in our lives. It is not merely about saying thank you when someone does something nice for us, but about adopting a mindset that actively seeks to appreciate the small, everyday moments. When we shift our focus to gratitude, we begin to notice the richness in even the most ordinary aspects of life. It is in these simple moments, like enjoying a warm cup of coffee in the morning, spending time with loved ones, or achieving a small task, that we find the seeds of joy. This focus on gratitude, when combined with the perspective of celebrating small wins, can be life-changing. Gratitude fundamentally alters the way we see the world. When we are grateful, we stop focusing on what we don't have or what we have yet to achieve. Instead, we begin to appreciate the abundance of what is already present in our lives. Too often we find ourselves caught in the trap of wanting more, more success, more wealth, more recognition. These desires can lead to dissatisfaction as we constantly chase after something that always seems just out of reach. Gratitude, on the other hand, brings us back to the present moment and helps us recognize the value in what we have. It is a reminder that joy is not found in the future or the distant horizon, but in the here and now. When we practice gratitude in relation to our small wins, we begin to realize that these seemingly minor achievements are significant in their own right. Completing a task, meeting a deadline, or simply making it through a challenging day are not to be dismissed as insignificant. These actions, when viewed through the lens of gratitude, become moments of celebration. By expressing gratitude for these small wins, we shift our focus away from what's lacking or what remains undone, and instead highlight what has already been accomplished. This change in perspective allows us to recognize that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Perspective is the lens through which we view our lives. It determines how we interpret the events of our day, how we react to challenges, and how we measure success. When we adopt a perspective of gratitude, we are better able to appreciate the small wins that might otherwise go unnoticed. For instance, a day filled with minor frustrations can be reframed as a day of learning and growth, even if we didn't achieve all of our grand goals. With this perspective, we recognize that every moment, even those that seem mundane or challenging, holds the potential for a lesson or a win. This reframing helps us cultivate a more positive outlook as we learn to see the silver lining in even the most difficult circumstances. Gratitude and perspective also work together to combat the negative effects of comparison. It is all too easy to compare our lives to others, especially in a world where social media constantly showcases the highlights of other people's lives. When we measure our worth against others, we often feel inadequate or discontent. However, when we shift our focus to gratitude and celebrate our small wins, we stop comparing ourselves to others and begin to appreciate our unique journey. Gratitude helps us realize that our path, with all its ups and downs, is valuable and meaningful. By celebrating our personal victories, no matter how small, we affirm our own worth and stop measuring our success against someone else's. One of the most powerful effects of gratitude is its ability to foster contentment. Contentment does not mean complacency or a lack of ambition, but rather a deep sense of peace with where we are right now. It means acknowledging that we have enough, that we are enough, and that the present moment holds value. When we celebrate small wins through the lens of gratitude, we begin to feel content with what we have accomplished, even if our larger goals remain unmet. This contentment brings a sense of joy that is not dependent on external circumstances or future achievements. It allows us to experience fulfillment in the present, creating a more sustainable and lasting sense of happiness. Gratitude enhances our resilience. Life is full of setbacks and challenges, and it is easy to become discouraged when things don't go as planned. However, when we focus on the small wins, we develop a mindset that values persistence and progress over perfection. Celebrating small victories gives us the strength to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems difficult. It reminds us that every step, no matter how small, brings us closer to our larger goals. Gratitude makes us more resilient by encouraging us to find the good in every situation and to learn from each experience, no matter how challenging it may be. Gratitude also has a profound impact on our relationships. When we approach life with a grateful heart, we are more likely to appreciate the contributions of others and express our thanks. By focusing on the small wins in our interactions with others, whether it's a kind gesture, a moment of support, or a shared experience, we strengthen our bonds and cultivate deeper connections. Gratitude fosters a sense of mutual respect and appreciation, creating a positive cycle where both individuals involved feel valued and supported. Practicing gratitude allows us to see the potential for growth in every situation. By focusing on the small wins, we begin to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. When we face a setback, we can approach it with a sense of curiosity and wonder, asking ourselves what we can learn from the experience. This perspective of growth allows us to embrace the journey rather than fixating solely on the destination. It encourages us to celebrate every step of the process, knowing that each small win is a vital part of our development. Gratitude and perspective work hand in hand to enhance our experience of life. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what's lacking to what's present. And by adopting a positive perspective, we are better able to recognize and celebrate the small wins that often go unnoticed. Together, they help us cultivate a sense of joy and fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances or grand achievements, but rooted in the richness of the present moment, building momentum for larger goals. One of the most compelling reasons to celebrate small wins is their ability to build momentum toward achieving larger goals. Many of us tend to focus on the big picture, the ultimate achievement or final destination, without recognizing the importance of the incremental steps required to get there. However, the path to success is rarely a straight line, and it is often made up of a series of small, seemingly insignificant actions that, when accumulated, lead to profound results. By celebrating these small wins, we not only gain a sense of accomplishment, but also create a cycle of positive momentum that propels us toward our larger ambitions. Momentum, in the context of goal setting and achievement, can be thought of as the force that keeps us moving forward. It is what drives us to continue working toward our goals, even when the end result seems distant or the road ahead appears challenging. Momentum is not something that happens all at once. It is built gradually, through consistent effort and the recognition of progress. Small wins act as the fuel for this momentum. Every time we complete a task, make progress, or overcome an obstacle, we gain a little more momentum, which propels us to tackle the next challenge. This creates a positive feedback loop, where each success leads to greater confidence, greater motivation, and greater effort. The power of momentum lies in its ability to transform a daunting goal into a series of manageable steps. Large, long-term goals can often feel overwhelming, especially when we are just starting out or when the end result seems too far away to feel attainable. However, by breaking these goals down into smaller, more achievable tasks and celebrating each small win along the way, we begin to shift our focus from the enormity of the goal to the small steps that are within our control. This shift in perspective makes the goal seem more attainable and less intimidating. Each small win serves as proof that progress is being made, no matter how slow or incremental. Over time, as we continue to experience these small victories, we develop the confidence and momentum to tackle even bigger challenges. Celebrating small wins helps us build resilience in the face of setbacks. The journey toward any significant goal is rarely linear, and there will inevitably be moments of difficulty, failure, or frustration. These setbacks can be disheartening and may cause us to question whether our larger goals are even worth pursuing. However, when we focus on the small wins and the momentum we've built, we are better equipped to handle these challenges. The positive momentum we've accumulated gives us the energy and determination to push through difficult times. Instead of feeling discouraged by setbacks, we view them as part of the process and recognize that they don't define our ability to succeed. The small wins act as reminders of our capacity to overcome obstacles, and they serve as motivation to continue moving forward. Celebrating small wins enables us to track our progress more effectively. When working toward a large goal, it can be easy to lose sight of how far we've come, especially if the goal is distant or complex. This lack of visible progress can lead to frustration and a sense of stagnation. However, by acknowledging and celebrating the small wins along the way, we create tangible markers of progress. These small victories provide a clear record of our accomplishments, which helps us see how much we've achieved, even if the ultimate goal is still out of reach. Tracking our progress in this way not only boosts our confidence, but also reinforces the idea that success is built on consistent effort and incremental progress. Small wins also play a critical role in maintaining our motivation. Motivation is often viewed as something that is either present or absent, but in reality, it is something that must be nurtured and sustained over time. Without regular doses of motivation, it can be difficult to stay on track toward our goals. This is where the celebration of small wins becomes crucial. Each time we achieve a small goal, we experience a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. If we subscribe to the idea that we should always achieve our goals, we risk becoming lost in the valley. Celebration and motivation are the keys to making long-term progress. This emotional reward reinforces our commitment to the larger goal and keeps us motivated to continue. By consistently celebrating small wins, we create a steady stream of positive reinforcement that sustains our motivation even during times when our enthusiasm may wane. Building momentum through small wins allows us to develop a sense of mastery. As we complete small tasks and achieve minor goals, we gain a deeper understanding of our own abilities and strengths. This sense of mastery is crucial in building self-confidence. Each small win demonstrates that we are capable of making progress and achieving success. This growing sense of mastery empowers us to take on increasingly complex challenges and to tackle more ambitious goals. It reminds us that we are competent and capable, and that we have the tools to succeed. The idea of momentum also ties into the concept of consistency. Achieving large goals requires consistent effort over time. However, consistency can be difficult to maintain, especially when the end result is far off or when progress seems slow. The celebration of small wins helps us stay consistent by providing regular rewards for our efforts. These small celebrations act as positive reinforcements that encourage us to keep going even when the larger goal feels distant. As we continue to build momentum, the process of working toward our goals becomes less about sheer effort and more about developing a sustainable rhythm of progress. Small wins help to prevent burnout. Pursuing large goals, especially over an extended period, can lead to exhaustion and burnout if we don't take time to acknowledge our progress. By celebrating small wins along the way, we create moments of rest and rejuvenation. These moments of celebration act as a reminder that the journey itself is valuable and worth enjoying, not just the destination. This approach helps to maintain our energy and enthusiasm for the long haul, ensuring that we stay engaged and committed to the process rather than becoming overwhelmed or disillusioned. Building momentum through small wins is a powerful strategy for achieving larger goals. It transforms the journey from a daunting, overwhelming task into a series of manageable steps. By consistently recognizing and celebrating small victories, we create a positive cycle of progress, motivation, and resilience. This momentum not only helps us reach our goals, but also enriches the journey, making the pursuit of success more enjoyable and fulfilling.